Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Hello.
And Waluigi Albuquerque.
Waluigi time.
As you can see, we're here to talk our favorite Wednesday night show, The Amazing Race. This is season 34, episode 10, entitled Don't Look Down. This was the second half of the Mega Leg, aka our favorite half of the Mega Leg, because there's an elimination. We did have an eliminated team. We will get to it, but there's a lot to cover in this leg. So we're going to just start from the top, work our way down. Like I said, second half of the Mega Leg. This part was going to take place in Ronda, Spain. The first clue was with a tour guide on the bridge holding the Andalese flag. We looked into this. Waleed, Andalese flag, Andalese, what's the deal?
The Andalusian flag, yeah, it's basically so it's a part of Spain basically that was ruled by the Moorish Muslims from the Iberian Peninsula, basically that came from the Moroccan area down below. And like I said last time, the Muslims ruled Spain for 800 years, so there's a lot of Muslim influence in that part of Spain, especially, but throughout Spain as a whole. So that definitely it definitely showed a lot in this episode when they showed that. So.
Definitely see it in the mosques, in the architecture. Like Waleed said, Moorish rule from the 8th to 15th century. I know Logan had mentioned some of the stuff in his blog the last few weeks, at least last week, especially about it being a really cool place to visit. Definitely looking forward to seeing some of the other coverage of those people who may have actually been there to hear more about it and maybe go eventually see it myself when I do some European travel. But let's get back to the leg. First, like I mentioned the tour guide. There was some early navigation trouble. Navigation trouble became kind of a common theme throughout, not catastrophic, but no one really able to make a good positive move with their navigation. Some people lagged back with their navigation throughout this whole leg. The first detour was bend over backwards versus dress to impress. Bend over backwards was a building challenge, involved a stone, brick and wooden arch being built. If it was strong enough to hold the structure up, you succeeded, but it had to match detail per detail, brick, rock arrangement, etc. Marcus and Michael end up being the only team to go and build, but we will kind of talk about them a little bit later. I more so want to start, though, with the other half, which was dress for success. You had to dress a dancer, a flamingo dancer, who was doing a bunch of moves out in a public square, had a whole set of accessories, a shawl, a castanets, earrings, roses, and a shawl clip that you had to make sure was perfect. And this became a problem because the accessories were in a shop that you had to run around the corner for. However, again, I always start this with you guys every week. I thought this one seemed like a pretty obvious choice as well. I thought like building seemed like a more daunting task when we're only down to 5 teams. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, the results show that. I'm glad that they did it though, because I wanted to see it actually be done. So I actually really enjoyed that, because like the one thing about some of these challenges, like we don't see the other part and all the time. And I actually just like to see, even if that person loses, like what were both experiences like.
Wally, what do you think?
Yeah, no, same thing. I mean, I told you, like I said, I say this all the time. I think I have a great memory, so I think I would have definitely been able to get the dress for success challenge probably much easier and much quicker than the building part. Just because there's a lot more room for error, just to like, if you mess up a little bit, you can still get it done pretty quickly. So
we're going to talk, and this is going to be a common theme throughout this review, but Luis and Michelle finished first. They held up really well. Up pressure, Brian pumping up because that was his pick preseason, and so far holding up really well. Most of the teams did really well with it. There wasn't really any kind of overemphasis, at least shown in the episode, of any team super struggling with this challenge. More so kind of people kind of came as they came and were kind of able to leave. Marcus and Michael, unfortunately, again, a common theme of this season, a little bit of a lack of drama. A lot of the teams that have been far back, the leg before or the episode before tend to be the ones that go out. Unfortunately for Marcus, this all kind of goes back to last week, right? Blowing the painting challenge and really, really just setting yourself way back. And it kind of just continued in the mega leg. They did fine in their performances. They did miss a stone a few times, which was an annoying detail. Again, attention to detail is something that comes back to bite them. 2 legs or 2, I guess, half of the mega legs in a row, guys. How did you feel about kind of their performances in the challenge, specifically in the detour?
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of have lost steam these last few weeks, and it's a kind of a crappy way to go out, missing a rock next to a brick, but that's how it goes down sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a mental lapse, for them. Like as the season progressed, you just felt like the last few weeks that they were just mentally just like fading away, more than anything, because they were like the hottest team at the beginning of the season. Like nobody could catch them. They were finishing like first or second every week, and then they just started gassing out. So, yeah, it's that time for them.
Is interesting to see the survival tactics going on. Derek and Claire, Aubrey and David actively working together during that accessory challenge and afterwards. It's really basically like, hey, let's just keep the team in last, which I don't think is a terrible strategy overall. Wish we again this season had seen a little bit more of the interactions between them. It's kind of the part that I miss about them having to hit the train stations and hit the airports. That kind of forced waiting time was where we got a lot of the interactions, right, between the teams waiting in line, trying to figure out the tickets, making the phone calls in the early seasons with the payphones. That forced drama of the, hey, traveling sucks a lot of times drama is gone. And I miss that. So I know there's probably a set dead point where, or kind of breaking point where this changed. I'm sure Logan would probably be able to kind of tell us where we went from original kind of Amazing Race to what I would maybe now refer to as like modern Amazing Race, at least in the US Amazing Race.
Didn't Tim say like, hey, once that leg was over, you just go to your rooms? When we talked to him?
I mean, Tim did give us a lot of input today. Like there are no social interaction in
Yeah.
between. But yet again, that's why I mean, like even during
right, you're right. Yeah, you can't have that. You didn't talk over just waiting in line for a Ferris wheel at 12 o'clock and then at night. Like the old, I just refer to the first season we
a lot of
watched
trains
because,
and bus rides, right? Like a lot of those things were there, especially even the flights, they're always together, or at least in groups, or they had a choice between a few things. I missed that again.
Yeah, and that's why I enjoy navigational errors, because then that happened this episode, because it's just nice to see that it's not like robotic.
I agree. So let's move. The next route info is going to be available at the Paseo de Kazunori Yamuchi. Damn, I did pretty good on that one. Which would lead to the roadblock. Who's been paying attention? This one was a high wire walk under the bridge where the original clue of this half of the mega leg was given. This was the bridge to grab the correct flag, the Andalusian flag. So we had to high wire walk across, grab the Andalusian flag, and come back. There was actually multiple rows of high wires, which came into effect, which thankfully allowed for us to have a Mario Party reference of the episode. Can't wait till eventually we have some kind of a stinger or some cool jingle. We'll figure that out. This one is reminding me of Treacherous Tightrope, which was in a later Super Mario Party. Super Mario
8.
Yeah, Super Mario Party 8. Excuse me. I was like getting tongue tied. Which was interesting because that one was a straightforward racing tightrope race where you could have all 4 players racing against each other, having the traditional balance beam. That was an actual kind of cool remix and also a play off the title of Tightrope Treachery, which was the original one from Mario Party 1, which was where you was a 1-on-3 where 3 people were in a boat shooting cannons at the person walking across the tightrope. So really cool. We were glad to be able to get an actual Mario Party reference this week as opposed to Super Mario Brothers. So the high wire race was pretty straightforward. Everybody knew what the flag was. Thankfully, there was a little bit of a tease with the twins that they were maybe going to pick the Spanish flag. That didn't end up happening. Thank God. I just thought that would have been horrible for Molly and Emily to go out that way after battling so hard with the bad leg, especially. We had a quote from Orson Welles: "A man is not where he's born, but where he chooses to die." Feel like I'm going to die in this chair waiting for there to be a fast forward to come back into the Amazing Race. That's where I think I'm
you're
going to
be
die.
like a skeleton, like like on the bottom of the ocean. You know, the skeleton sitting in the deck.
Yeah, like SpongeBob, or if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, I could be like the original guy. Yeah, they're really into Orson Welles and Ernest Hemingway. They're real hard-ons for them in Spain. You know, if anyone ever read any of the books, obviously there's some connections. You know, Sun Also Rises, blah blah blah. Pit stop is going to be at the Mirador de Ronda. It is the city gardens. This is where there was going to be two kind of little statues to the two Orson Welles and Hemingway. First person there is the winner of the leg. No surprise, Luis and Michelle finished first. Thank God for Expedia and their points. They get to go to Tokyo. 5 nights.
Cool trip.
Cool trip. They're definitely going to have to extend that, though. It's not long enough.
No. Making sushi is fun, though.
Expedia is like clever too, right? Because they give people 5 nights knowing that 2 of those of the 5 are travel days. And so that they're like automatically just basically going to extend through Expedia and get some money.
Hey.
I wonder what Phil's kickback is on this. I wonder if this is going to get pulled off the internet because I'm asking the right questions.
He's there. He's like every one of those trips. He's there.
My door started to creak open slowly as I said that. There's really not much to talk about in between there before we get to the actual elimination. Claire did have her random crying breakdown.
Oh my gosh.
I've had enough of her.
Yeah.
Enough.
Right, I've had enough.
I just had enough of her. I'm sorry. Like, she's a rival in this show, and she's I don't like her on the television.
Well,
show,
let's say what was really the elephant in the room: Big Brother.
Yes.
We ain't fans of Big Brother in these parts.
Yeah.
Like, what was she like? Don't talk to me. I would have been like, I would have kept talking. I'm trying to win.
Trying to win. Why are you crying? We're doing good. Let's go.
Pull yourself together.
Unfortunately, it was the end of the road for Marcus and Michael. Pour one out. Another interesting team gone. Leaves us with 4 teams, guys. 4 teams left. We've hit both mega legs already. We should just be going straight forward to the finale. So we should have 1 next week, right? And if things hold true, we would have 3 in the finale, usually 2 hours. So just comes down to if they do a 2-hour finale or split it into 2 weeks. But with Love Boat on Paramount Plus, I'm hoping we'll get the 2-hour finale.
Yeah, I don't want it split up.
We're probably it's probably gonna get split up.
Agreed.
Yep. They don't
Unless
listen to
with
the
the
show.
holidays though too, the thing that there is kind of like a lot of holiday shows and things that come on, and you know you have to leave room for there to be like Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman on, and the 17th replaying of Elf. So
yeah, right, yeah. Just watch it on a streamer.
There's still some old people that watch just on network TV.
I don't care.
Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell. We're covering a lot of things for Wednesday night, all the kind of CBS and Paramount block, Survivor, Amazing Race, Love Boat as well. We are covering the Challenge Ride or Dies, which also airs on Wednesday nights. We just finished up Bachelor in Paradise. Look out for some new shows next week, a new Love and Hip Hop, a new season of Below Deck. Look out also for any new Netflix shows. The Circle comes back in December. The Bachelor will be back in January. But we will cover anything and everything in between. If anything new comes out, please comment. Let us know what you think we should be watching, and we will at least give it 1 episode. That is our promise. For myself, Brian and Waleed, thank you. Peace.